Hey Flosstube! My name's Emer and I'm hopping on the cross stitch bandwagon and making myself a Flosstube channel. So a little bit about me. I'm from Ireland. I'm currently a student finishing up a master's degree in public health. And yeah, when I started it, did not think it would become so relevant, but here we are. So while in lockdown, I've been watching a lot of Flosstube and I've always wanted to make my own, but now we have the time, we're all stitching more, and I'm consuming a lot of Flosstube content, so why not make my own? I'm not gonna think too hard about why I shouldn't. Anyway, I have been cross stitching for 5 years now, a little over 5 years. I started when I first went off to college. I wanted a hobby that used my hands, that didn't involve staring at the screen, because, you do a lot of that when you're studying. And I just stumbled upon cross stitch. Haven't regretted it, haven't looked back. I describe myself as a little bit of a seasonal crafter in that I crochet in the winter time when it's a little bit colder and I can stand to have a blanket on me as I'm making it. And in the summertime, I go back to my first love, cross stitching. It's a little bit warmer. I don't particularly want wool on top of me. So yeah, I'm going to start off by going through some of my recent FOs. I have a very little pile of them. None of them are fully finished. Nobody's been able to get out to get frames. Y'all are just gonna have to accept these mostly finished objects. The stitching's done. They're just not framed. So my most recent stitch is very little. It is an itty bitty little treble clef. I'm a musician. I play the piano and the accordion, the most underrated instrument. And I just wanted a little treble clef for the mantelpiece. So here it is. I'm going to leave it in the hoop. It is very messily sewed together at the back. I need to properly finish that eventually. I'll probably get felt and back it. Also trim the huge wad of fabric that is a little bit bulky at the back, but from the front, cute little finish. This piece, I'd Rather Be Gardening by Pigeon Coop Stitches on Etsy. I started this last summer as a gift from my mom. She is an avid gardener, so I saw this and she always wants to be in the garden. Says it all, really. I don't think I used the called for colours. It's been a little while since I finished this. I just used whatever I had, really. Additionally, I left out a little motif under the word gardening just because I think I might like to stain the hoop and tidy it all up at the back so she can hang it up. She's getting a shed built for storing all her gardening supplies. So I think it would be cute that she could put that out there. Although, if she's in the shed, she's gardening. So the message means a little less, but she'll like it anyway. She's seen it. She doesn't know it's for her yet. I assume she suspects. I'm not a gardener. This piece I started years ago, hence why it's on 14 count white Ada. 14 count, just not my favorite. It's very starchy. The white is very white. But I properly finished it. I had only a little bit of stitching left to do. I was just putting it off and I ironed it and washed it. The water came out grey. Mortified. But it's done. I can't remember the name of the pattern designer. think it's called Let's Do Tea. I'll put a link in the video description when I can double check the pattern designer. Yeah. I like myself a cup of tea, so this will be framed and probably hung up in the kitchen. It's where you make tea. And finally, probably the finish that I'm most proud of is Antique Celtic Sampler by Elizabeth Designs, or as I've been calling it, Here There Be Monsters. This is done on an 18 count Ada. Couldn't tell you much more than that. It's Zweigart, I know that much, and it's a dusky pink, I think. The colour name is something like that. I used the called for threads, the week's dye work, and it turned out good. I really like it. You can see it particularly on the dragon. Love how that mottled look turned out. I did change to a very good DMC for the little fishies at the bottom. I thought they were too pale in the original. I just wanted something different. I had to change the number font a little bit to make it fit the 2020. And I also swapped out the pink that is in this rectangle here. That was originally supposed to be like a silver grey colour. And again, I felt it was just a little bit too pale. So I used a pink that had been used only little bits elsewhere. And I'm really happy with it. I want to put this one in a really nice frame. It's probably going to go in my bedroom. Yeah, I can't wait to see this one fully finished. So that's all for my finished objects. I have a couple of whips going on at the moment. This one is my oldest ongoing whip. It is DMC's Good Things Come to Those Who Bake. And again, you're going to have to excuse the incredibly rumpled fabric. Again, I know this one is old because it's on a 14 count white Ada. This would be really nice on like on that powdery pink. Would have been perfect. But whatever. I kind of picked this up on and off. I have all the words done. I think I have the stitching done on the top cupcake tier. So I need to do second tier, third tier, and the roses. Also the border, which I don't love it. I might leave it out, particularly if I get a nice frame. Again, this would be another piece to go in the kitchen. I love baking. I, like the rest of the world it appears, have a sourdough starter, and it's delicious. So yeah, this will be a nice piece when I finally get round to finishing it off and giving it the iron it really needs. Next up is Dimensions Gold's Collection Elegant Geisha. I got this kit when I went to London 3 years ago, I want to say. We don't have any big craft stores here in Ireland, especially not anywhere that sells cross-stitching stuff. You can buy yarn without trouble, but embroidery not so much. So I went to the UK and was absolutely overwhelmed. I think it was Hobbycraft. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Hobbycraft we went to. I dragged my dad and my brother on a train outside the city. They didn't care. They didn't want to go to any of the other shops out there, but they put up with me going out and dragging them around this giant craft store. So I just learned my phone has a recording limit. Should have checked that before I started. On to the next whip, I think. This one is from Cross Stitcher magazine. It is called Hanging Garden. Nice little piece. I am working it on I think it's a 25 count even weave. No, that can't be right because I'm doing it over 2 and it's not giant. I don't know. I'm sure if I measured I could figure it out. Why I don't know off the top of my head was this piece of fabric I found in a secondhand store, which is very rare, but it was donated by a lady who was, her eyesight had failed, and she just wasn't able to see anymore, especially not on something that high count. So she donated all her fabric, and the store, not knowing what it was worth, I think they had a bag of fabric, most of it 14 count white Ada, but I think it was a £5 for the entire bag. So honestly, even if it was one good piece of fabric and a couple of dead wasps, I think it'd be worth it for a £5. I'm not using the call to work colours. I am using cheap off-brand threads. I don't know why I decided to do that, but they're what I picked when I started it God knows how long ago, so I have to keep using them. Now they do match the picture pretty closely. They're just generic, cheap, no brand threads. Haven't used them in I don't know how long. This is my newest whip. It's called the Sacred Bee by the Little Stitcher on Etsy, and her customer service is fantastic. I noticed on the store page that it said she had stitched the sample in weeks dye work threads on linen, but it didn't say if the pattern would give DMC colours or what count she had stitched on. So I messaged her and she got back to me super quick explaining that yeah, she had DMC conversions, that I think it was on a 32 count. And then she did it on. I'm doing it on a lovely 18 count Ada. It's a sort of oatmeal-y. I hope the camera's picking that up. See the little mottled effect of the fabric. Yeah, it's lovely. Need to give the little queen bee some wings. Be 2 ladies on either side of her holding what I think are daisies. And it says the Sacred Bee across the top. I'm going to stitch this some more when I'm done with the video, I think. So that's all I have for whips at the moment. I recently went on to 123 Stitch and put in an order because, you know, times are difficult. We need a little something to cheer ourselves up. So I ordered a lovely icy blue fabric, similar to what is pictured there, because I want to stitch this geese sampler. I just think it's very cute. Very rusticy. I love geese. They've got little bows on. Yeah, so I have the threads all pulled. I'm just waiting on the fabric, which, because I am in Ireland and 123 Stitch is in America, I don't know when I'm going to get that fabric. It will be a few weeks at least. I have also ordered a pattern. It's called Fluffed. I forget who the designer is, but it's a lovely, very round, fluffy sheep. Simple little pattern, but I can't wait to stitch it. As well as having ordered some gingerbread even weave to stitch these on. I just love the colours, especially in that green one, and it will look really, really nice against that mottled gingerbread colour. Yeah, can't wait for that to arrive, though I wouldn't bet on it arriving anytime soon, sadly, but I've got enough whips to keep going for now. Okay, so I think that's all I have to show you guys this episode. Please do leave me a comment. I love checking out new Flosstube channels. I love seeing what you guys are working on. It's you guys are enablers, quite frankly. I see someone working on an amazing long dog sampler or a mirabilia, and it goes on my wish list. It goes on my when I'm no longer a student wish list. It'll happen. I'll get there. I just have a thesis to finish and I'll have a degree. I'll have a master's degree, I hope. I'll say no more in case I jinx myself. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye.